Hello, and welcome to the CTO Magazine interview series. I'm Adita Karkera, Chief Data Officer for Deloitte's Government and Public Services. And today I am excited to have with us Chris Kraft, Deputy Chief Technology Officer, AI and Emerging Technology at the Department of Homeland Services. Chris, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I know you talked a little bit about your work at FEMA and kind of being one of the early adopters of GenAI with your FEMA use case there. Are there similar use cases and similar initiatives that are in the pipeline for you today as you work across these three work streams that you highlighted?
Yeah, so at DHS, we do have 3 generative AI pilots that we're focused on that I think are all very interesting. So these were identified through our AI task force that we stood up last year. And there were, I think around, and this was before I joined, but I think there were around 30 submissions from the components for consideration. 3 were selected. They were included in our AI roadmap and discussed in the AI roadmap that was released in March of this year. So the 3 pilots are one with USCIS, Citizenship and Immigration Services, and it's a generative AI chatbot that can help train officers as they're engaging with refugees and asylum seekers. So it's really using prompt engineering, and it's not a RAG-based solution, but it's really prompt engineering to have information on the refugee or the asylum seeker. And then the officer can ask questions. Why do you want to come to this country? And then get a response, a really human-like response that I think the team that implemented at USCIS did a really great job structuring the system so that the responses are very human-like. And then you can follow up. Okay, tell me more about you say you want to leave because you're not being treated well. What does that mean? And then get more details on that and really get comfortable as a complement to the training that's already provided to officers, a complement that they can get some additional training that's available on demand. The training that they get today is provided by actors. And so there's only a limited opportunity to engage with those actors given the cost and the requirements to get actors actually engaged. But using this tool, it provides an opportunity to have additional training and preparation to engage with people, which I think will make them more effective at their job and help them prepare. So I think that's a really exciting use case. And then and we're very far along with that pilot. And then the second pilot is with the Homeland Security Investigations Group. It's HSI. And what they're doing is they're loading millions and millions of records of investigation documents into a vector database, and they're searching over that, asking questions, and then generating a summary of the response. And another great use case that I sat in the room when the agents were testing this, and it was just so encouraging to hear the agents say that it's like the needle in the haystack. I'm finding things that I didn't even know existed, and people are searching. Agents are searching for monikers for dark web cases, and they're identifying some that they didn't even know were connected. And I think that's really the power of natural language processing and embedding information and then using artificial intelligence to find similarities and then surface those, and then using generative AI to summarize that information. So I think that's another amazing use case. We're seeing great results out of that, and really encouraged by how that will continue to evolve and help agents out. And then the third is with FEMA, and they have a pilot to create hazard mitigation plans, support underserved communities create these plans. So these plans are required to get funding, but smaller communities don't necessarily have all the resources that would help them to create these large plans that could be hundreds of pages long. So the idea is to use generative AI to capture information and then generate the plans. So you reduce the burden and make it easier for those underserved communities to get the resources that they really need I mean, arguably, maybe, in a way, more than the communities that have the sufficient resources to generate the hazard mitigation plans. So I think that's another great use case, and I'm really excited to see how that turns out and how that can be used. So.
Chris, that's great. You have three exciting pilots in the pipeline right now. And what I love about each one of them is like they're actually solving problems, they're adding efficiencies to your current business processes. Because, gosh, so many times I've heard leaders talk about, we just want to implement Gen AI. And they don't really have like a problem, a big business problem that they're trying to resolve with it. And all of your use cases are so point on. So, congratulations to your team on that. Um, as you navigate these AI use cases and the prototyping and the piloting, when I talk to other CDOs and CXOs, they often talk about challenges associated to data readiness as well as workforce upskilling. What are some of the challenges that you are facing in your AI journey as you deploy out either these use cases or other initiatives that might be in your pipeline?
The challenges that you mentioned, they're things that I've heard before, and I think we have our share. One is making sure that we have the right talent to help us
Mhm.
implement and leverage the technology, and that could be in the form of contractors or federal employees. And I think that's one area that our DHS AI core really helps us out because that is bringing in what will be the largest dedicated AI team in the federal government. So I think that I believe it'll be the largest, but it'll be a great wealth of knowledge that can help us. So that internal talent, and then also making sure that we have the right partners in place. So talent is a challenge, but I think there's a lot of great things that we're doing to help address that challenge. I think another one is workforce readiness for artificial intelligence, specifically generative AI, and understanding what the technology is and what the technology isn't, I think is really important. And one of the things that we've been doing in my team is holding educational sessions with different teams to walk them through. Well, first of all, we at DHS approved a number of commercially available tools for the workforce to leverage, including at the moment ChatGPT and Claude and Copilot, Bing Chat, and Grammarly, and some others, and that's all publicly available on our website. Our terms of service and rules of behavior and our training. So we've approved those tools for use. But really, what I think is a challenge is taking it a step beyond just saying, okay, you can use the tools in a limited way that's safe and responsible, but then the challenge is, well, how do I use them? What do I do? And I think for those of us that are in technical positions, it's easy to lose sight of that. For a lot of our organization, they are just not as familiar or comfortable with the technology. So we've been holding a number of sessions where, and for a lot of them, I've actually been running these sessions, but where we'll walk through these are use case examples of how you can leverage the tools. Let's walk through example one. Here's the data, here's the prompt. Let's put it into the tool. Let's see what comes out. And then if depending on how that works, because it doesn't always work as expected, which sometimes is not a bad thing. So you can talk through, well, why did that happen and how do you address that? But I think that really is helping the workforce understand the tools and have the resources that they need as far as the understanding to leverage the tools and apply them in ways that can help them in their day-to-day work. And I think that's really the key, is that the ultimate goal is to add efficiency to the work that they're doing. So I think it's a challenge getting the workforce oriented, but I think that we're doing a lot there and seeing a lot of benefits. So those are two examples of some challenges and things that we're doing to address those.
Thank you for sharing those key insights, Chris. It's been great talking to you today, and thank you for investing the time here.
Thank you, Adita.
And for all the other listeners here, please continue to follow the rest of our interview series on CTO Magazine as well as Deloitte. Thank you so much.